What's up, party people? Welcome to the show. Lots to get into today. Hey, the Mavericks might have a new stadium site, new arena site. We're going to get into that. What might that do to or with DFW residential real estate? How could that change property values, development, momentum, really the identity of the city? We'll dive into that. I don't know if you noticed, Courtney, but we've had some snow days.
Oh, dear.
And by snow days,
I have noticed.
Not everybody experienced the snow days the same, a little bit different. But we're going to talk about how that does. We don't have to do the question, does it impact real estate? It does. We're going to get into how it does, and then we're going to give you some inside baseball. We're going to give you some facts that most people don't know or don't think about, and we're going to breed even more distrust in public real estate statistics.
Oh, goody.
I don't know if we've done enough over our years on this show of helping people.
Can you ever do enough of
really doubt a headline?
Creating distrust?
When you see a statistic anytime, especially in real estate.
What's real anymore? That's what I want to know.
From someone who's not a real estate pro.
That's me.
Just always doubt it. Always doubt it. We're going to tell you why to doubt it even more here pretty soon as we make our way through this here show. But there's also a trend going around. Going around or going round? How do you feel about it?
Going round.
Going around. There's a trend going around.
Going around.
No.
Whatever. First time you got
No
the
way.
English language.
No, it's going
right.
around.
Okay. Listen.
Who says going round? If I'm going round to a neighbor's,
There's
maybe.
a rumor going
Going
round.
round.
He's not from here.
No, it's going around.
Okay.
Murder.
There's a rumor going around. This is a trend going round that people are getting properties under contract and they're not actually closing. I don't know if you've heard about it. Of course, that always happens.
I'm seeing it.
But there's a major trend right now, and we're going to talk about that as we make our way through the show as well. So, hey, those are some big hot topics we got to get into. We got to let the people know. We got to protect our friends, family, neighbors, clients here in the DFW residential real estate market. I am Todd Tremonti, and all day, every day, I run with my friends, Ian and Courtney and the whole team. We run the Todd Tremonti home selling team right here in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Created for you here locally, only for you here locally. We've been doing it for well over 20 years. Now, I know you hear from lots of other real estate people, even on this radio station. And you may or may not know that they don't live here, and they've never lived here. They maybe have never even visited here. So they have these big national companies, and they brag about their reviews and their sales and their units because those are national numbers. But I'm here to tell you, there's no other real estate team in DFW that cares for local home buyers and sellers and investors as much or as well as the Todd Tremonti home selling team. We don't brag about trophies and rankings all the time because we don't care about that stuff. What we care about is delivering world-class value to you when you're buying and selling, and even when you're not, just because we feel that's our God-given calling. We've been given these gifts and these abilities, and our goal is to share them with you and add value in your life. And then, of course, when it's time to buy and sell, we hope you trust us. We hope we get an opportunity, and then we'll decide if you're a fit for us. You'll decide if we're a fit for you. That's how we roll. So if you need anything from us, toddtremontiteam.com. And if you have questions that you'd like us to answer right now, 214-310-0008. You can call or text 214-310-0008. And the first segment of this show always has been and always will be brought to you by
Patrick Gleros and his phenomenal team. Whether you're looking to refinance, take out a mortgage, you have questions, you want to start an application on his website, you can do all of it. PatrickGleros.com. He's always our first call.
Always.
Todd has worked with him for years. Mm-hmm. We've worked with him as a team for 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. And so many of our friends, clients, family members, they've all done the same. Reach out to Patrick. He can help you. NMLS number 308804. Patrick Gleros. Glaros, PatrickGleros.com.
Nailed it. Okay, so this Dallas Mavericks stadium thing is kind of interesting. If you're a Mavericks fan, of course, it's interesting for that sake. Even if you're not, though,
I'm still struggling, man.
I hear you. And I'm originally from Houston, so email Courtney about that.
The fire just isn't there yet.
And I have to confess, normally I can find things like that funny, because I like the Mavericks, I root for the Mavericks, but I'm not a diehard Mavericks fan. I'm a Rockets fan. And so if you just hate me for that, we'll have to deal with it. But I have at
We all
times,
have our struggles in life.
I have we always say on this show and all of life that sports hate is love. So if you love your team and hate another team and it's a good rivalry, that's good. It's an act of love. Anyway, I kind of chuckle sometimes when Dallas sports teams do dumb stuff. Cowboys always provide good material, but this isn't even funny. It's just kind of sad.
So 20 seconds on this, just because. So the way I heard this described, and I thought it was a brilliant description, is somebody described this as a kind of a crater deal where like it completely craters an entire fan base, and it's happened like only a couple of times over the years of all the sports where something so ridiculous, a trade, happened that it completely caved in a fan base.
Yeah, and they're tremendously difficult to rebuild. Now, a new stadium can help, a new energy, a new feel, fresh starts. And so proposed potential possibly maybes for a new Mavericks stadium site. What do you think about Valley View?
I'm telling you, I had not thought about Valley View Mall.
Yep. We used to go to the movies there a lot back in the day. They were cheap.
I mean, when was the last time I thought about Valley View Mall? It's got to be 15 years ago.
Okay.
When did it get blown up?
So they demoed it years ago, probably, I don't know, in the last 5-ish years, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. And there's been like movement. It's like Collin Creek Mall. It's like, what are they doing over there? They've been working on it forever. But Valley View's been demoed and
Valley View Mall closed in 2015.
Yes, but it wasn't demoed for like
Correct.
another 5-ish years, but it's been in process forever. So there's thoughts that the Mavericks ownership group, or however these stadium deals get done, it's always a little confusing, but are considering a redevelopment of that which was already a redevelopment. Which, by the way, I think would be a killer location to go north, where the bulk of the DFW growth and expansion towards Frisco and other sports expansion and things are, and population growth and all that is. And I think you would get that North Dallas bullseye moved up. I think that would go well. The other consideration is the current City Hall. If City Hall moves, and this would certainly encourage that, then to demo and build a new stadium, obviously urban in town where the old City Hall currently is, and City Hall would become new.
Feels like the worst idea.
Well,
and I'm thinking based on like traffic and
from
like
a fan
all that.
perspective, convenience and all that. I think unless you live south, that's a pretty easy call to make.
Come on, north for the win.
From an actual like city of Dallas,
It's so disappointing.
keeping teams in the city and having that urban development feel and spinning off other development and tax revenues and all that stuff, you could see the merit of keeping it downtown and trying to revitalize and bolden the downtown deal. But
It's a nightmare to
it's
get.
not a discussion about that. This is all about, okay, so all of that's on the table. What does that do then for Dallas real estate? And the answer is, where the American Airlines Center is now completely blew that area up. Condos, retail, Victory, all that stuff blew up primarily because the Mavericks. Stars were down there, concerts and all that. But when you have an NBA team with a 80-something game schedule, that drives a ton of good stuff. So that could then happen again in, further North Dallas or right in town. And in many ways, Dallas can support American Airlines Center without the Mavericks. But you could replicate that type of growth in another location and watch the cleanup and the retail that comes in and the parking demands that create infrastructure and roads and all that stuff. So I would say, let's just say that happened up at Valley View. That would be great for that Galleria, Valley View, 635 and the tollway between there and 75, like that whole corridor starts to benefit. And then you see even more multifamily, higher end multifamily, retail, entertainment, food, restaurants, parking, all that good stuff. So there would be a ton of people that would be so angry about, traffic would be terrible after events and game days. Yeah, that's part of it. But what would the impact be?
Traffic's there is pretty terrible now.
What would be the impact on real estate? I think you would see that, all due respect to everybody, that area around the Galleria that hasn't been a hotbed of residential real estate for a long time, see a surge and an increase in walkable, urban, suburban, retail, walkable living, single family, multifamily, I'm trying to think of a term right now that for some reason is absent of my brain. But it's like flex use space, right? Where you have all those different types of housing, single family, multifamily, condo, townhome. You would have mixed use residential and commercial all around there. So if that were to happen, I think it would be great. I think it would be a big driver in what is right now a bit of a gap between kind of North Dallas, Addison, Frisco, West Plano. You'd end up kind of filling that whole corridor in and seeing some really good things. If it happened downtown, I don't think you'd see as much of that, but it would certainly be a nice driver of like in actual downtown momentum, which there's lots of other things happening in the museum district and things like that. But I don't know that downtown Dallas is really thought of as like a jump in place compared to other major cities. And they keep trying. So anyway, could be interesting, could have real impact on residential real estate. We'll see. But I don't think the impact that external things have on residential real estate is a topic that gets discussed enough. Courtney, what do you think?
I agree.
Yeah, I'm glad you do. Now, Ian, I want to talk about snow days.
I agree.
Round and round we go.
I want to talk about snow days.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I don't want to talk about what you liked or didn't like about it or your favorite, snow game to play. Here's what I want to talk about.
I made a Lego orchid.
I just said it.
I loved it.
I just said that's not what we're talking about. Here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how in 2027, that's right, my brain is already there.
We're going to look back.
Go ahead.
And see how this affected the numbers. And people aren't going to remember.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
That we were all snowed in.
So proud of you.
And they're just going to be like, oh, sales were down in January of 2026. And we are going to snip this little snippet and remind you people that sales aren't down. We were all inside.
I'm trying to get an applause track.
That's going. That was applause.
New soundboard's kind of weak.
No, that was applause.
I just couldn't hear it. Okay, so I figured it out. There it is. All right. Hey, thanks for bearing with us as I learned the new soundboard, folks.
She killed it. She nailed it.
You kept it in the fairway at least, if not drove it all the way to the green.
Let's go.
I'm not even saying you need me for the putt, the tap.
I'll do the rest of the show.
But here's what happens. And we've said this before. So if you're a longtime listener, you've heard this before. By the way, check out the podcast if you're not, because we talk about stuff like this and more all the time. DFW Real Estate Weekly with Todd Tremonti. But never without the Yanni Donnie and the full price Courtney. I say never. Rarely without.
Sometimes.
You played hurt recently.
Not never.
Okay. Anyway, check out the podcast, DFW Real Estate Weekly with Todd Tremonti, wherever you get podcasts. Go ahead.
More often than not with Ian and Courtney.
Almost always.
How do you feel like that for the name?
From time to time without me.
I do think we should add us.
I think we should add us.
It
Go
should
ahead.
be longer, I think. Get the podcast,
Most
download
searchable.
it, and then check it. You can get
Check it.
any shows you missed. You can also get bonus episodes, and we talk about stuff like this. The thing we're talking about is this, hypothetically speaking, but this will happen. Like I can't say with certainty. I'll say it happens every year. Okay, there's no way this is not going to happen. Next year, someone will write an article about how year-over-year numbers, February 27 is blah, blah, blah compared to February 2026. It's booming, it's down, it's up, whatever. What they will not be able to factor in, what they will not have the wherewithal or the discipline or the willingness to slow down and get into the weeds on, because nobody does this, is to say, oh, well, February 2026 has an anomaly in it. There's like a week that's just really weird and off. And that's because there was a week in January of 2026 where nobody left their house for 5 days, 4.5 days. Nobody went out and looked at houses with their real estate agent. Nobody went and did a home inspection or an appraisal or a survey or updated their landscaping or painted the room to get ready to go on the market. Like all that on the ground real estate activity just stopped. It just paused for 4 to 6 days the last week of January 2026, this week, right? But how
And over a weekend, which is even more impactful.
even more impactful, especially in a January that otherwise had been a very active January compared to the last several years, way more than normal. So next year's data, annual data, there's only 52 weeks in a year. A week is actually a big deal. I know that sounds silly, but when you think statistically, it's almost 2% of the whole year. And this January was acting way better than the last several Januaries. So maybe 3% or even 4% of the year. But my point is to say the data is always skewed because of things like that. I'm sure I think about things like this more than the average person. We know that. But there's a lot of things I don't even think. I don't think about, was there some weird reason that flights were shut down for a few days that I didn't even know about, that could have affected data last year. So, and on one hand, you can roll that stuff in and just say, well, there's always stuff going on. But this is major. Nobody viewed a home the last 5 or 6. I'm sure someone did. You know what I mean? But statistically, it went to zero. Closings didn't happen. Fundings didn't happen. Like all sorts of things like that didn't happen. So there will be a gap. There will be delays. And then those numbers will flesh themselves out later and skew other things. So the following month might look better than it should have. And then people will make deductions from that and write headlines and tell stories and value properties. And so you want to work with someone, or at least listen to and paying attention and read someone who's factoring these things in, who's paying attention to these things. And the Todd Tremonti home selling team can and will do that for you. If you're looking for a real estate team that thinks about things at that level, that is full time, believe it or not, everyone on our team is full time. We don't have any part-time agents. Our staff is all in, and we are here to help you. Give us a call if you're thinking about buying, selling, valuing a property, protesting your taxes, finding a vendor, anything like that. 214-310-0008. You should both call or text us if you prefer to text. 214-310-0008. We're here to be your real estate pros. We're local. We built a model that is only for Dallas-Fort Worth residents. We specialize in desirable neighborhoods where people want to live and small acreage properties, big backyard properties. We help a lot of people who currently live in a nice neighborhood home and have been thinking about making a move. We help them sell that house and then go buy a house on an acre or 2 or 3 and live the dream that they've been dreaming for a while. And obviously we help neighborhood to neighborhood, acreage to acreage, all that good stuff. But if we can help you, even if it's just to start the conversation, doesn't cost you anything, no obligation. We can jump on a Zoom call or sit down face-to-face or just chat over the phone. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. We're here to help. You don't have to pay for that phone call. Just give us a call, 214-310-0008. Or you can always go online to toddtremontiteam.com. I want to tell you about Trinity Home Advisors home warranties. We're sitting in the Trinity Home Advisors studio right now because as a great vendor partner of ours, they've got a better business model for home warranties. Most people really are frustrated by home warranties, or they hate them, or they haven't heard good things about them because most warranty companies have a bad model where they sell you a warranty and then they try not to warranty anything. Most of the time they don't warranty things because you didn't maintain it appropriately. And Trinity has a great model where they were going to help you maintain your home through keeping you updated and giving you suggestions to spend less than 90 minutes per year on basic, simple maintenance like filters and things, so that if you have a warranty issue, they will cover it. And they have a different financial model with more cash on hand and retained to be able to handle more of these warranty issues. If I needed a new home warranty right now, that's where I'm going. Trinity Home Advisors. Go to trinityhomeadvisors.com. That's trinityhomeadvisors.com and get your Trinity Home Advisors home warranty, whether you're buying a home with us or with anybody else. Unwise, but you could. Or you're not buying or selling right now. You just want that extra layer of protection on your home. I think it's great, especially the first year or two in a home. trinityhomeadvisors.com. Okay, folks, if you have questions about your real estate, 214-310-0008 anytime, even when you're not listening to us here on air, you can call or text and ask questions about buying, selling, remodeling, a vendor, or any of that. You got a pretty good chance of talking to the English wonder himself, the Yanni Donnie, 214-310-0008. And if all else fails, you can find all of our connected friends and pros and vendors that we like and trust at toddtremontiTeam.com, or you can just Google my name, spell it the best way you can. You'll find us. And you can see over 800 5-star reviews. More reviews, more 5-star reviews than any other real estate team in all of DFW. Don't listen to the people telling you on this radio station that they have thousands and thousands and thousands of reviews, because they're not local. They're selling houses in like 48 markets across the United States. I mean, you can listen to them if you want, but when they're telling you how wonderful they are in their reviews, they're not built for you. They're not built by your neighbors and your friends like us. They're built in another city and then expanded as a lead generation campaign across the country. Not saying they're terrible people. They're certainly not local, focused on helping you and serving you and bumping into you into the grocery store and being a friend and a neighbor. Check us out, toddtremontiTeam.com. Okay, we did tease a few things before we got rolling here. I want to make sure we get to all of those. The last one is that there's a much higher percentage of purchase and sale agreements falling out of contract right now than almost ever before in DFW. What we mean by that is, let's just say I am, Todd, buying a house from Ian, right? We make an offer, Ian and his family accept it. We're a few days into this, or maybe even a few weeks into this. Everybody was planning on closing and funding and trading keys and trading ownership. And all of a sudden, one of us says, hold on, no deal, got to kill it. We're not going to get into the contractual part of that, but that is happening way more than almost ever before. Now, on our team with the Todd Tremonti home selling team, that's happening a lot less than it's happening in the general market, but it is still happening more than it's almost ever happened before.
Especially during that option period where people are paying and they get 5, 6, 7 days usually to be able to make a decision on whether they want to move forward, and they'll get their inspections and all that type of thing done. That's what we're seeing.
Yep.
The big jump.
And by the way, sidebar, there's a bunch of really bad information about what that period is. Most people call it an inspection period. That's actually not what it's called in our state contracts. It's called the unrestricted right to terminate. So you have an option to terminate within a certain period of time, or you have the option to move forward. So depending on how the contract is negotiated during that period, lots of people, way more than normal, the buyer usually is backing out and saying, okay, we want to exercise our unrestricted right to terminate and we don't want to move forward anymore. I believe the vast majority of the reason for that is just total overall anxiety and uncertainty and fear about real estate and the economy as a whole.
I would like to add another opinion.
Go ahead.
They're being led poorly. Mm-hmm. People are being led poorly by agents that I'm not going to say don't have their best interests at heart, because I really hope and believe that somebody doing this does.
Yeah.
But they're not necessarily sometimes willing to speak the hard truths to people about whether or not they should actually try and buy a certain property. Like, this might not be the best decision for them.
Right.
So they're just not being led correctly. And then once the reality actually hits, it's like, oh yeah, we should have done that.
Yeah. Courtney, you know how much it pains me to do this, but I'm going to say Ian's answer was better than mine, but they're directly connected, right? So Ian's exactly right. It's poor leadership by the agent, or if they don't have an agent, it's just that they're totally under-equipped.
I have a way with words.
It's because also it is because of the fear and anxiety about the marketplace that someone's not helping them navigate, or that someone is not even attempting to help them navigate. And unfortunately, that's what most agents do. If you're a great real estate agent, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the normal agent. Statistically, the typical agent last year sold 0 houses. Over 79% of all agents nationwide last year sold 0 houses. Less than 5% sold 10 or more houses. Everyone on our team, full-time agent, did that. Our agents average 20 units per year. Many of them do 30 to 40 or 30 to 50. We got so much more we can talk about. We're going to come back from the break. We're going to talk about trophy season in real estate and what the heck does that mean. We'll be right back after. Welcome back, party people. Welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us through the break. Before we went to the break, we did tease, the old radio tease, trophy season in residential real estate. What do we mean by that? This is the time of year that if you pay attention to social media posts or newsletter distribution and things like that, you see a lot of real estate agents saying really dumb stuff. How about that? And the dumb stuff that they're saying, it's not all dumb. I'm gonna discern the difference. I'm gonna clarify what is what. But you see a lot of people saying things like, oh, I just want to thank all my clients because I was $1 million producer last year. That for most people is like less than 3 houses, right? So the average in DFW is around 400 DFW wide. That means if you sold 3 houses, you sold $1.2 million in sales volume. And people brag and they get a little gold star and they put it next to their name and they say $1 million producers club, diamond club, gold club, whatever. I am in fact making fun of all of that and anyone who does that. Now, what I'm not making fun of is if you did a great job last year and you helped a ton of people and you delivered a ton of value, that's worthy of celebrating. But these misleading paid placement, I'm paying the local magazine to say that I'm an approved top agent. Almost all of that stuff is paid placement. Almost all of that stuff is misleading. So at the Todd Tremonti Home Sign team, we don't get excited about that stuff. We get invited to, of course, all of those lists. Our agents are all mathematically top producers in the whole market. We have multiple people on our team that would be among the top 30 or 40 agents in all of DFW, but they're also not chasing those things as their trophies. I think you want to find an agent that certainly is experienced and does a good bit of sales and volume and units and knows what they're doing, but you're not really looking for the Walmart of real estate agents that like sells the absolute most quantity. I think you're looking for a balance of someone that really is a leader and also leads and guides and advocates for you, not just for total homes sold, total dollars of sales volume. And that's something you can't figure out without sitting down and having a discussion and getting to know someone or doing some research. And I kind of laugh and roll my eyes this time of year when everybody's doing the whole, hey, I'm top ranked and hey, I'm Diamond Club and all that. So we get a kick out of it, but we also own and run a coaching and consulting company. So we talk to some of the top agents all across North America. I'm in some groups because of our rankings and things with many of the top agents in North America. And we all sort of jokingly laugh about the agents and the teams that obsess about being number one, most homes sold, things like that. Because we know often that those businesses are in shambles. They're churning agents every year. They bring them in and chew them up and spit them out. And they treat them like a number. And so it's not about value and relationship and connection. It's about numbers and units and maintaining that ranking. And I'm not saying that everyone that does this is this way, but I'm saying most of the people that do this are this way. They're either not very profitable, they're not caring for the client very well, they're seemingly always in trouble and all kinds of debt, and it's a mess. So I would just encourage, what's valuable about this to you, our friends, our listeners, our viewers, is as you choose an agent, it's not necessarily their ranking that's going to be of value to you. Of course, do they have enough experience? Do they have the right resources and team and technology and systems? But also, do they customize for you? Do they listen to you? Do they create a unique solution for you? Do they have a track record of exceptional results with great client care and relationships? Or are they burning and churning? And that's what so many of these really, really big brokerages or teams or these out-of-market companies that come in and run ads and lead generate here and just basically distribute them to a bunch of agents here and turn them over all the time. So trophy season in residential real estate is honestly something we kind of make fun of, but we're calling it out because it's harmful. It's harmful to consumers. It's harmful to buyers and sellers. It's harmful to investors who might be misled by thinking that means these agents or these brokerages or these teams are of value to them when it's really a very selfish vanity metric. Now, our team members often rank, and I encourage them, hey, go, be bold about that. But let's celebrate what we always celebrate, that represents the number of people we were able to serve, the amount of people we were able to connect with, that most of them are now great friends of ours, instead of the, look at me numbers. So anyway, trophy season in real estate is usually kind of a chuckle for us as people try to stretch what is often quite meager production and make it look as though, they're key leaders. And then you have people who do have big numbers, but they're often not taking great care of the client, the buyer, the seller. And so we want to advocate for the buyer, the seller, homeowners all across DFW. If we can help you, if you want to see if we're legitimate, if we back up our word, if we truly do deliver world-class value, and if our agents are as great as I think they are, reach out to us, 214-310-0008 or online at toddtremonteteam.com.
You wrote a book about the lies of the industry. Can you speak to that? And
I thought I wrote that book about 5 years ago, and then we were doing one of our real estate agent training podcasts.
You got your feelings hurt.
And Grady was like, "This is like 9 years old." I was like, "Oh, well, how about that?"
Time flies.
The book is called The 5 Lies That Will Ruin Your Real Estate Career. By the way, if you or anybody you know is thinking about getting into real estate, just text us and we'll give you a free copy of that book. 214-310-0008. We'll give you a free copy of my book. It's not only for newer agents, but it's super useful for newer agents. It's called The 5 Lies That Will Ruin Your Real Estate Career and the Truth That Can Make You Wealthy. And I would argue if you follow that, it will almost certainly make you wealthy. But one of those lies, I mean, there's so many of them, but one of them is like, the best agent always wins. Like the most skillful, knowledgeable agent always wins. And that's just not true, because that agent often can't get clients. So you have these people that go through the real estate schools online and they go take the state test and the national test and they get their license and they're like, man, I aced all that. And then they're out of the business in a year or two. They go to a big, huge brokerage. I'm not going to pick on anyone. They go to a big, huge brokerage and they get all the general, standard, normal training. I mean, they know how to use a contract. I mean, they know how to work the MLS. They know how to get access to a property. They know what the definitions are and the legal stuff is, and then they just don't have any clients, and they can't help you. So you have these pretty skillful technical knowledge agents with no ability to attract and manage people and relationships and family situations and job situations and movement and transfer. So if you're someone thinking about getting into the residential real estate business, or let's just say you've gotten into residential real estate sales in the last year or two, and you feel like you got a general idea, but you don't have any specific guidance, you're not succeeding the way you want, or you would only want to get into the business to avoid that lame, cheesy, fake it till you make it trophy season, and you want to avoid the generalist without any specialized world-class knowledge, you might be a really good contender for our team at the Todd Tremonte Home Selling Team. I'm looking to hire a couple new people right now for either our Fort Worth office or our Richardson office, and I'd be thrilled to chat with you. We can start that with a quick text message to 214-310-0008. Pass that on to a friend if you think they would be a good fit. Newer agents or people that want to be a brand new agent. 214-310-0008. We are looking for some really great, competitive, kind, super smart, hardworking, always learning, really generous people that want to go make a bunch of money and have a bunch of really awesome impact in the world. That's what we do here at the Todd Tremonte Home Selling Team. We'd love to talk to you or your friends about joining us. Just call or text 214-310-0008. And the first segment has been brought to you by
my friend Patrick Leros. We've told you about him literally for years, at least twice a show, for years and years.
Well
and years.
Over 15 years. Yeah.
And we do that because he's the best in the business. He takes care of his people. He takes care of our friends and family members and clients, people that have questions about mortgages and refinances and home equities and just different ways that he can help. He can answer so many different questions for you, and he can be a resource for you in so many ways. You can go to patrickgleros.com, Glaros, patrickgleros.com, where you can start an application right on his website. The biggest thing is, if you have a question, reach out to him. patrickgleros.com.
Same thing goes with title companies, by the way. Like if you don't have a great lender or a great title company involved, and other things, but those are two massive ones. It can make a great deal turn into a bad deal. It can make a great experience become miserable. And it can be the difference between I got the house or I didn't, or I sold my house or I didn't. And Republic Title is who I want on a contract if I am buying or selling a home, period. RepublicTitle.com. I would literally find the Republic Title office closest to the home, and I would close there. And if I wasn't really sure which one, I would choose Richardson. because they're world class. But I have had incredible experiences at Republic Title offices all across the Metroplex, and I have had miserable experiences at non-Republic Title offices all across the state. Meaning, most of the time when we're not working with Republic Title, it's rough, and sometimes it's a nightmare. If I'm you and I'm buying, I'm selling, I'm refinancing, or I'm transferring title to property in any way, I'm using Republic Title. Check them out, republictitle.com. Okay, now it is time. It is time. Everybody, y'all bow up.
I'm bowed.
Load your weapons. It
Don't
is
have
time for McKinney, Texas versus Frisco, Texas. That's right, Frisco versus McKinney. If I'm a buyer from outside the market, and
Right.
I got a job in the northeastern Metroplex, and I'm like, all right, I could live in either McKinney or Frisco, get to my job, and be really happy.
Both very compelling, cute places.
Good options.
Okay, so let's do this real quick, both of you, and I'll go third. Why would I move to McKinney?
Charming, great downtown. It's certainly more my vibe.
It's your why? What's your vibe for people that might not know what that
I mean,
is?
they're both very fast growing, but Frisco just feels very expansive and treeless.
I see. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm
like
gonna say it
Frisco
differently.
feels really big and wide open and
New.
New was the word I was going to go for. Whereas McKinney, especially when I think of the downtown, like homey.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say to try to rephrase that so that people that like different things. If you like charming, older, downtown, unique, downtown McKinney is really, really attractive. Now, there is downtown Frisco has some of that as well. Frisco is more known for the bazillions dollars of development over at Legacy and further north around all the sporting events and the Dallas Cowboys and the Star and all that. So if you are looking for tons of brand new retail, expansive, massive stuff, Frisco's probably your vibe. Now, McKinney still has some of that. They've got some huge, developments and retail and shopping and all that. And Frisco also has some of that older, charming, smaller feeling. But the indicators, the identifiers of each, more public perception would say McKinney's got that little bit older charm and Frisco's got that more expansive new development. What are some other things people might love about Frisco?
I mean, all the sports stuff.
Okay. And what are we talking about? We're talking about
Star.
the Dallas Cowboys have made their home base, their practice
So
facility.
the practice facilities there. You've got FC Dallas at the soccer. You've got minor league hockey. You've got
Rough
Baseball.
Riders.
Rough Riders. Yeah.
Dallas Stars headquarters is up there, and they're talking about starting to potentially play games and things up there. You've got like the massive retail of like IKEA.
PGA headquarters.
PGA's up there now. So those are all huge positives for Frisco if you like sort of the entertainment, professional sports, minor league sports, going to the show, going to the game, going and seeing not only those things, but the retail, the development, the excitement that surrounds them. And then what are some other positives that people might love? Like they might go, oh, that's right for my family or me because of what's some from McKinney?
Yeah, I think McKinney just with the parks and more like local boutiques and festivals and
How about McKinney Airport?
on its way.
It's on its way, but it's already a thing, right? So you got some passenger traffic in there, and then you have a bunch of commercial development opportunities. So if you got a small business and that's something that's attractive to you, or you want to kind of get in on the path of progress over there, that feels earlier stage to me than most of what Frisco's
I
offering.
mean, I
Well,
need a place
McKinney-
for my plane.
Well, McKinney is a little more affordable too.
Dollar for dollar, you're probably going to get a little more lot, maybe a little more house in some parts of McKinney than Frisco. You've got huge master plan developments like Craig Ranch and stuff like that going. You got good golf both places. But McKinney's been home to some PGA events and things like that. Frisco's literally home to the PGA now. So all sorts of cool stuff happening up there in that regard.
They really like rank so similar, but they are different.
The point I'm trying to make
They're
is
similar
like,
but different.
how about that?
Yep.
The point I'm trying to make is I don't think anybody in their right mind would be like, oh, that one's terrible and that one's great. It's just about what you're looking for. So like Courtney said, well, this one's my vibe.
If you're an emotional buyer like me, you'll go for the vibe.
You could have just ended with emotional.
If you're emotional.
Plenty of emotions around Frisco too. But what I would say is this. I mean, both of their schools are really well thought of. Both of their parks and recreation and city services are really well thought of. They're both what historically has been called kind of far north Dallas. McKinney's on that east side along 75 Central Expressway. Frisco's along, it's not west, but west of McKinney along Dallas North Tollway side. And they just both have so much going for them. So you really can't go wrong. But depending on what your preferences are, you might choose one.
There's every type of restaurant and food and all that stuff you can think of, and entertainment in both. Yeah.
Yep. So there you go. McKinney versus Frisco. I don't know if we have a tie, a draw, both winners, but one's going to be a winner for you, depending on you and your family. And if we can help you with that, that's what we do here at the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team. We help families buy and sell residential real estate in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, of course, in McKinney and Frisco all the time. Reach out to us. Give us a call, 214-310-0008, or online at toddtremontiteam.com. We have team members that live in those places that have sold hundreds and hundreds of homes in those places, and we're big fans of both of them, so it would be great at introducing you to them or helping you make a move from them or within them. That's McKinney versus Frisco in North Dallas, folks. ToddTremontiTeam.com for more information on that. Now, we did just come through one of our every year or two or three ice and snow situations.
Feels like it was an early one. We normally get one in February.
And the forecast looks like it may not be the only.
This seems right on time to me. Everybody keeps saying that, but
we get this year. But Courtney, I know that you like to both entertain and mock me a little bit when it comes to
your big backyard.
The backyard.
You have a big backyard?
I do.
What?
Shocking.
And how it warms my soul to help other people also have big backyards, because a backyard is a portal to a beautiful life.
How is a big snow day freeze different for you jokers who love a big backyard and who have one?
Okay, I'm going to answer you directly, but I want to be very sensitive about this because like there was some sad stuff that happened in DFW with snow fun outings. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Some people like being towed behind vehicles that lost their life. So we are not mocking that, but I want to make a point that when people are like going out and doing crazy things at the city park or on the street and stuff, there's a piece of it for me that I'm like, ooh, there's like a lot of people doing crazy stuff. And I feel pretty comfortable just turning my kids loose in the backyard where they have more than an acre to just run wild. So that's obviously an advantage of having big space that is your own, that's protected and fenced and safe. We've got the pond, we got the playhouse and all that. So my kids were out there on their four-wheelers and motorcycles, slipping all over the place and trying to ride bikes, which did not go well. Because this wasn't soft, pretty snow. This was like...
It was just ice.
Piled up frozen ice that looked like snow. But this year my kids had those like salad clamp scissor looking things that make a perfect snowball. And so they were like breaking it up with the shovel, softening it up, making snowballs. And they made massive pyramid towers of snowballs, kind of like an elf. And then they just had full out brawls with their friends. Pretty great. So they basically had trench warfare.
Sounds like a lot of concussions could have been happening right there.
They basically had trench warfare in the backyard with massive piles and pyramids of perfectly round. It was pretty great.
That sounds pretty good.
Watching it out of the window, I was like, oh, well played. And my son was absolutely trying to recreate the scene from Elf, where he's basically got a machine gun of an arm. He was trying to throw him as fast as he could, as accurately as he could. Anyway, so room to just do that and haul off and throw a snowball 100 feet if you're capable. Ride the four-wheelers.
It's easy. I can throw a snowball over the mountains.
I can throw it over the mountain. Okay, check this out, though. Mid-snow days at home, I tripped over the rug in a long hallway in our house. And we have a new puppy, so there's potty training going on. I'm like, this stupid rug. And I was mad at it because I trip on it all the time. My wife was mad at it because the dog's wanting to pee on it. And I'm like, I'm going to roll this thing up and burn it. She goes, do it. I was like, wait, what? You cool? You're cool if I do that? She's like, yeah. I was like, I'm yelling for my son. I'm like, roll the rug up. So we roll the rug up. We haven't done it yet, but we're going to burn this thing in the fire pit. And the fire pit during snow and ice is it's such a beautiful, glorious thing. I still had some Christmas boxes left over that we got to burn in the fire pit. It was a lot of fun. So those are a few things that when you have the space, you can go even be more ridiculous on your snow day. You can ride the four-wheelers in it. You can have a full-out trench warfare. You can have massive fires of things you probably shouldn't do in a normal-sized residential yard.
Do you cover your landscaping?
Okay, so I don't, and that's a hot take. So in my opinion, if we're talking late January or February, our flowers, like our tender flowers that are out, they're done for the season. So when the snow comes and it wipes them out, that's okay. Because I don't do like a lot of perennial come back every year decorative flowers. We just put in seasonal color stuff. That's not like a wasteful thing. We do like cheap seasonal flowers. My annual stuff, my theory for landscaping is thrives on neglect. So if it can't make it through the snow and the heat with reasonable watering, I'm not planting it because I'm not going to be out there with the scale yard I have, babying every plant and every bush and every tree and all that. So no, whether it's in the orchard, in the garden, or just in shrubs in the beds or flowers, I don't cover anything. And you know the obsessive flower gardeners are out there with 8 layers of shade cloth, and I don't recommend that for big lot people because that's all you would ever have time to do is baby every single different plant and tree and shrub. And I want to enjoy life. So that's my philosophy is I don't plant anything that I'm going to have to cover in that way. I have some citrus trees living in the greenhouse. I did move those into the garage.
Is your garden we just reset the whole thing every year?
Again, the things that can thrive on neglect, like I've got herbs that are out there that are fine. Basil's not going to make it, but all my rosemary, thyme, stuff like that doesn't care. Snow doesn't bother. By the way, snow's a good insulator. Snow, once you have snow around something, it's going to keep it right around that freezing. That thing is not going to get down into the negatives. Like snow actually holds it at this kind of constant, very cold, but not brutally cold temperature.
You're building plant igloos.
They're little miniature plant igloos. That's right. So anyway, I think a big backyard's fun all the time, especially when it's colder. I like the fall and winter in the backyard more than I like summer. It's prettier in summer, but I love it. So those are some of the ways that I did that. I like grilling when it's cold too. So I use the outdoor kitchen and stuff in the backyard more. I couldn't talk my crew into getting into the hot tub this time on snow days. That's one of my favorite things. You're in the hot tub. You're surrounded by freezing cold, but you're perfectly warm. It's great.
They didn't want to do it?
I know. I was like, you guys are all bums.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, getting to the hot tub was like a solid bowl of ice. So I think that was it. They were like, well, how do we get to it? I was like, you guys are weak. And that's how I love my family. I just tell them things like that. Hey, folks, if we can help you achieve your backyard dreams, whether it's a big one, a little one, a 0-lot one, or really anything, we'd be thrilled to do that. Call or text us 214-310-0008. What we specialize in is those desirable neighborhood homes where you've been dreaming of living and big backyard properties. So whether you're selling one and buying the other or selling one and buying one just like it, we're here to help you, especially when you are both selling and buying, to do that without the drama and the fear and the anxiety and the stress. We are the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team. We're here for you all the time at toddtremonti.team.com.